Good evening, my Alpha family. Or should I say, good evening to the survivors, the schemers, and the misunderstood villains of this chaotic little world. You know they had a plan. Oh yes, they always do, don't they? A plan so intricately woven, so perfectly disguised with fake smiles, empty compliments, and a mask of kindness. But their intentions were as shallow as the lies they lived by, and the web they spun was one designed not to uplift, but to destroy. They thought they were clever, didn't they? Thought they could break you, bend you, mold you into something smaller, weaker, and easier to control. But in their arrogance, they forgot one thing. One simple, powerful truth. The pit they dug for you became their own grave. You were never meant to be the victim. You were never meant to be the one buried in the rubble of their schemes. No, my family, you were meant to rise. And rise you did. Not because the world handed it to you, not because life showed you mercy, but because you survived when others would have broken. You are the living embodiment of resilience. You were the target, but in the end, they became the prey. Every sneer they gave you, every whispered word, every backhanded compliment, every attempt to shackle your potential only fueled the fire inside you. While they thought they were knocking you down, they were merely setting the stage for your comeback. They underestimated you, thinking you were weak because of your silence, because of your patience, because you were focused on the bigger picture. They thought your humility was a weakness. They thought your resilience was a quiet surrender. But they were wrong. You were never surrendering. You were only preparing for the moment when you would rise up, shake off the chains they tried to bind you with, and take back everything they stole from you. When they looked at you, all they saw was the target. But what they failed to see was the warrior inside. They mistook your kindness for naivety. They mistook your loyalty for submission. They mistook your calmness for compliance. They thought they could break you with their lies and their tricks. But here you stand, stronger than ever, while they crumble under the weight of their own deceit. The truth always has a way of coming to the surface, and when it does, it exposes everything. It exposes the false smiles, the empty gestures, the manipulations, and the lies. And in the end, that truth is what destroyed them. You see, the truth is a powerful weapon, but only when you learn to wield it. And you have learned. You've learned to use the weapons of patience, endurance, and strength. You've learned to use the weapons of your mind, your spirit, and your will. And when the time came, you used them with precision. The same people who thought they were pulling the strings were actually the ones being controlled by their own greed, their own insecurities, their own jealousy. They dug a pit for you, thinking they could bury you in it, but they had no idea they were digging their own graves. They were so blinded by their need to destroy you that they couldn't see the hole they were digging for themselves. While they worked tirelessly to break you, you were working tirelessly to rebuild yourself. You were laying the foundation for your rise, one brick at a time, one victory at a time, one lesson at a time. And now, as they sink deeper into the consequences of their actions, you stand at the top of the mountain they tried to throw you off, looking down at them with the knowledge that you were never the one who was destined to fall. They were. They thought they were clever. They thought they were cunning. They thought they were invincible. But in their arrogance, they failed to realize one simple fact. The only thing that was ever truly invincible was you. And now, as they struggled to stay afloat in the ocean of their own lies, you walk through the ashes of their downfall, unscathed, untouched, and untouchable. They thought they had won, but all they did was set the stage for their own defeat. You were never their target. You were their reckoning. Let this be a reminder My Alpha family, when they dig a pit for you, they are only preparing the ground for their own demise. It's not about waiting for them to fall. It's about standing tall while they fall on their own. It's not about revenge or seeking validation. It's about realizing that your success, your strength, and your survival are the consequences of their actions. They are the architects of their own destruction. They built the house of lies, but it was never meant to stand. And now it's crumbling. They thought you were weak, didn't they? They thought you were soft, that you were just a pawn in their game. They thought you would break under pressure, that you would cower and submit to their will. But they didn't know you like I do. They didn't know the fire that burns within you, the rage, the determination, the power. They didn't know the depth of your will to survive, to overcome, to rise. They didn't see you for what you truly are. And now, as their world falls apart, they realize too late that they were never dealing with a victim. They were dealing with a force of nature. You don't need to rub it in their faces. You don't need to say a word. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your existence is proof enough. Your success, your peace, your happiness are all the proof you need. The pit they dug for you has become their own grave. And as they struggle, as they watch everything they built crumble, you stand tall, unwavering, because you knew all along that they were the ones who were truly doomed. This is the price of betrayal, of deceit, of manipulation. It may seem like they are winning for a while, but in the end, they are only digging their own graves. They are only setting the stage for their own downfall. They may have thought they could break you, but all they did was prepare you for greatness. They may have thought they were burying you, but in reality, they were planting the seeds of your rise. Now, as you stand here, stronger than ever, remember this. Never forget the price of your survival. Never forget the pain, the suffering, the struggle, because it is what made you who you are today. It is what turned you into the warrior you are now. And as for them, let them continue to dig. Let them continue to plot and scheme. They may think they are winning, but in the end, they will be the ones who are buried, while you soar higher than they ever could. So, my Alpha family, remember this. The pit they dug for you became their own grave, and as they fall, as they struggle to hold on to the ruins of their own creation, you stand tall, unbroken, and ready for whatever comes next, because you know deep down that they were never your enemy. They were your stepping stones. And now, you rise while they fall. It's the inevitable course of life, the natural progression, the moment when the truth finally breaks free from the shackles of deception, the moment when the weight of their own actions pulls them under, and all the lies, all the betrayal, all the manipulation they crafted to hold you down, to break your spirit, comes back to haunt them. While they stumble in their own misery, drowning in the very pit they dug for you, you soar. You don't just survive, you transcend. You rise higher than you ever imagined possible, higher than they ever thought you could go. For those who plotted your downfall, this is the reality they now face. The reality that their success in breaking you was never truly possible. They thought they had the upper hand, didn't they? They thought they could control you, mold you, break your spirit with their schemes, their manipulation, their empty promises. But the truth is, they were never dealing with someone who could be crushed. They were dealing with a force that could only be honed, sharpened, and made stronger by their attacks. Every time they tried to take something from you, they only gave you more strength, more resolve, more purpose. Their arrogance was their undoing. They believed that they could pull the strings and watch you dance to their tune. They believed that your silence meant weakness, that your calmness meant surrender, and that your ability to withstand hardship was nothing more than submission. But they couldn't have been more wrong. You didn't stand there in silence because you were afraid. You stood there because you knew something they didn't. You knew that sometimes silence is the loudest message of all. Sometimes waiting is the most powerful weapon you can wield. And when the time came, when you had built the strength to rise, you rose with a power they couldn't even begin to fathom. And that's the part they will never understand. They thought they could break you, but they failed to realize that you weren't the one who was fragile. It was them. They dug their own graves with every move they made, every lie they told. Every attempt to ruin your life was an attempt to mask their own insecurities, their own weaknesses, and now they must face the consequences of their actions. While they drown in the consequences of their deceit, you walk away with your head held high, your heart full of purpose, and your spirit unbroken. You walk away stronger than ever, and you carry with you the wisdom of knowing that sometimes the greatest revenge is simply thriving while others fall apart. While they are bound by the shackles of their own lies, you are free. You are no longer weighed down by their manipulations. You are no longer tied to their delusions of control. You are free to live your life, to pursue your dreams, to be the person you were always meant to be. This is the moment you realize that you were never the victim. You were never the one who was meant to suffer. You were the one who was meant to rise, to conquer, to break through the chains they tried to bind you with. And now, as you look at them, drowning in their own pit of lies, you understand the truth. They weren't your enemy. They were your teachers. Every insult, every attempt to tear you down, every person who betrayed you, every moment of darkness you faced, it was all part of the plan that would ultimately lead you to this moment, to this victory. You weren't meant to be broken. You were meant to be shaped into something far stronger than they ever imagined. They thought they were breaking you, but in reality, they were building you. With every attack, with every move they made against you, they were adding fuel to the fire that was already burning inside of you. They were giving you the strength to rise higher, to push forward, to prove them wrong. And now, as they fall, you rise. As they sink into the consequences of their actions, you soar. Because you have learned the greatest lesson of all. True power doesn't come from the ability to break others. True power comes from the ability to rise above the chaos, to rise above the negativity, to rise above the lies, to rise above the brokenness of this world. And when you rise above it all, you become untouchable. They can't hurt you anymore. They can't manipulate you. They can't control you. You've broken free from their grasp. And now, as they fall deeper into the hole they dug for themselves, you walk away with your power intact, with your dignity intact, and with the knowledge that you were never the one who was meant to fall. They built their empire on lies, on manipulation, on deceit. But what they failed to realize was that an empire built on lies will always crumble. And now, as their empire crumbles, you stand tall. Your foundation is strong. Your foundation is built on truth, on resilience, on the strength to rise, to overcome, to thrive. And while their walls collapse around them, you continue to climb, to move forward, to chase your dreams, to create the life you've always deserved. They can no longer reach you. They can no longer touch you. You are untouchable now. And every time they try to pull you back, every time they try to throw more dirt on you, they only find themselves sinking deeper into their own grave. Do you understand the power of this moment? Do you understand the significance of your survival? While they struggled to destroy you, to break you, to bury you under the weight of their lies, they unknowingly shaped your greatness. They pushed you, they tested you, they tried to make you small. But in the process, they made you larger, they made you stronger, they made you unstoppable. And now, as they watch you rise, as they watch you soar, they realize too late that they were never dealing with a victim. They were dealing with a force of nature. This is what happens when you refuse to be broken. This is what happens when you stand firm in the face of adversity, in the face of betrayal, in the face of pain. This is what happens when you keep moving forward, even when the world tries to push you back. The world will test you. People will try to break you. But if you stay strong, if you hold on to your truth, if you keep your eyes on your goals, you will rise. And when you rise above it all. You rise above the hatred, above the envy, above the lies. You rise as the victor, while they fall as the vanquished. So, as they crumble and fall, remember this: you are the one who is meant to stand tall. You are the one who is meant to rise. And when you rise with purpose. You rise with power. You rise with the knowledge that nothing, no one, can ever take away your strength. They may have thought they were the ones in control. They may have thought they had the power. But in the end, it was always you. You were the one who had the power to rise. And now, as they fall, you take your rightful place at the top. You stand as the living testament to the truth that the pit they dug for you became their own grave. And as they lie in the hole they created, you continue to climb, you continue to rise, you continue to thrive, because you are not just a survivor, you are a conqueror. You are the embodiment of strength, resilience, and victory. You are the proof that no one, no matter how much they try to break you, can ever truly defeat you. You are the one who rises when others fall. You are the one who stands when others crumble. You are the one who walks away unbroken, untouchable, and unstoppable. Let them fall. You were never meant to follow. You were meant to rise. And that rise, that ascent from the ashes of adversity, is not just a metaphor. It's a reality, a force that courses through your veins, propelling you forward despite every obstacle, every challenge, every attempt to push you down into the depths of despair. They thought they could extinguish your fire, didn't they? They thought they could bury you under the weight of their lies, their cruelty, their attempts to break you. They thought they had the upper hand, that their manipulation would work, that their deceit would shackle you. But they didn't know you. They didn't understand the depth of your power, the depth of your spirit. They didn't understand that you were never meant to be a prisoner. You were meant to be a phoenix, rising from the ashes of everything they tried to destroy. They didn't know that the very thing they feared most, your resilience, your strength, your ability to overcome, was the seed of your greatness. And now, as they look on in shock, as they see you rise higher than they ever imagined, they understand too late that they were the architects of their own defeat. You were never the victim. Number, you were always the warrior. They saw your strength and tried to diminish it, to make you doubt your own worth. But every insult they threw your way, every plot they orchestrated to break you, only fueled your fire. They couldn't see that. They were too blinded by their own insecurity, their own jealousy, their own desperate need to control. But now they see. They see that their every move to bring you down has only pushed you further toward your destiny. Every wound they tried to inflict, every attempt to break your spirit, only strengthened you. And now they must watch as you soar, as you rise with an unshakable will and an unyielding spirit. The rise isn't just about physical success or victory in the material world. It's about an internal transformation. It's about the way you see yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you navigate through life, with the knowing that nothing and no one has the power to take away what is yours by birthright. The rise is the understanding that no matter how much darkness surrounds you, no matter how many people plot to see you fall, you are a light that cannot be dimmed. You are not just a survivor. You are a warrior who has learned the truth, that survival is not about staying alive, but about growing, evolving, and thriving in the face of everything that seeks to destroy you. Do you know what it means to rise? It means to stand tall, even when the world tries to push you down. It means to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead is filled with uncertainty and pain. It means to face the storms with unwavering resolve, knowing that every storm eventually ends. To rise is to be unshaken, unbroken, unbowed in the face of adversity. To rise is to understand that every setback is merely a setup for a greater comeback. To rise is to look at the darkness and say, I am not afraid. I will not be held down. I will rise, and I will take everything that is rightfully mine. They thought they had the power to crush you, didn't they? They thought they could keep you in a cage of fear and doubt, manipulating your every move, pulling the strings to ensure you never found your true strength. They wanted you to stay small, to stay weak, to stay under their control. But here's the truth. Their control was never real. It was just a temporary illusion, a fragile structure built on lies. You see, real power isn't something that can be manipulated. Real power comes from within. It comes from a place deep inside you, where your purpose resides, where your strength is born, and where your will to rise is unbreakable. And when you tap into that power, when you understand that you are the master of your own destiny, everything changes. Their pitfall was in believing that they could control your fate. What they failed to understand is that you were never theirs to control. They thought their schemes could bind you, their plots could cage you. But all they did was prepare you for greatness. They didn't know it, but every lie they told, every act of cruelty they committed, was building the foundation of your strength. You were being tempered in the fire, forged into a force of nature that could never be extinguished. They were too short-sighted, too consumed by their own power to see what they were creating. A warrior, a king, a queen who would rise from the ashes of their destruction. Now, as they struggle to keep their lives together, to maintain the fragile illusion of control they've built, you stand above them. They thought they were burying you, but in reality, they were planting the seeds of your transformation. They thought they were ending your story, but in reality, they were setting the stage for your triumph. And now, as you rise, you carry with you the lessons they never learned. You carry with you the knowledge that true strength isn't in power over others, but in the power to control your own fate. It's in the power to rise no matter how many times you're knocked down, no matter how many people try to hold you back. You are the master of your own story, and now that you understand that, you rise. But the rise is not just a personal victory. No, it's bigger than that. It's a victory for everyone who has ever been underestimated, who has ever been oppressed, who has ever been made to feel small. When you rise, you become a beacon of hope for others. You become a symbol of what is possible when you refuse to be held down, when you refuse to accept defeat, when you refuse to let others dictate your worth. Your rise is not just a triumph of the individual, it is a triumph of the collective. It is a testament to the strength of the human spirit, the resilience of the soul, and the power of unwavering determination. When you rise, you don't just lift yourself up, you lift up everyone around you. Your rise becomes their rise. Your victory becomes their victory. The strength you carry within you becomes the strength that others can tap into when they too find themselves in a battle. Your rise becomes a light that shines in the darkness, a reminder to others that they too can rise. And that is the most powerful thing of all. Because your rise is not just about you, it's about the legacy you leave behind, the example you set, and the lives you touch along the way. But let's be clear, the rise is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. It requires every ounce of strength you have, every bit of willpower, every bit of heart and soul. The rise requires sacrifice, hard work, and an unshakable belief in yourself, even when the world doubts you. The rise requires standing up for yourself when everyone else wants you to stay down. It requires saying no when the world tells you to say yes. The rise is for those who are willing to fight for their destiny, for those who are willing to face the darkness and say, I am not afraid. But make no mistake, it's worth it. It's worth every battle, every scar, every sacrifice. Because when you rise, you are not just rising for yourself. You are rising for all those who have been held down, for all those who have been told they can't, for all those who have been made to feel less than. You rise for them. You rise for every single person who needs to see that it's possible to break free, to rise above, to soar. And in the end, when you stand at the top, you will realize that the pit they dug for you wasn't just the end of their story, it was the beginning of yours. So rise, my Alpha family. Rise with power, rise with purpose, rise with the knowledge that nothing can ever break you. Rise because you were always meant to rise, and as you rise, know that every step you take is a step closer to your ultimate victory. Every breath you take, every move you make, is a testament to the strength inside you. And when you reach the top, when you stand at the pinnacle of your success, you will know that you did not get there by accident. You got there because you refused to be broken, because you refused to let anyone dictate your worth, because you knew, deep in your soul, that you were meant to rise. You were always meant to rise. And now, as they fall, you soar. In the end, remember this: the pit they dug for you became their own grave because they underestimated your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering will to rise. They thought they could break you, but all they did was fuel your ascent. As they crumble beneath the weight of their own lies, you stand tall, untouchable, and unstoppable. Your rise is not just your victory, it's a testament to the power within you and a beacon for all those who have been made to feel small. You were always meant to rise, and now nothing can hold you back. Keep soaring.